Welcome to Wealth Lab. Today, we're diving into a seriously eye-opening explainer about an uncomfortable truth regarding your salary, your savings, and your eventual retirement. Look, if you're earning a regular paycheck but constantly feeling stuck on this never-ending treadmill, I want you to know you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not crazy. The system is literally designed from the ground up to keep you working.
Consider this rather shocking concept shared by investor Naval Ravikant, who is quoting Nassim Taleb here. It sounds extreme, right? But really think about it. A comfortable paycheck is incredibly addictive. It gives you just enough security to keep you coming back month after month, but rarely enough to actually buy your ultimate freedom. It just kind of lulls you into this false sense of safety.
So we've got to ask ourselves the hard question. Why is a regular paycheck secretly keeping you broke? If you feel like you are working harder than ever, but barely getting an inch ahead, it's time to question the basic math behind what you're doing every single day. You're trading your time for money. And honestly, that's a trap.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the time for money trap. We need to look at the core problem of the traditional 9-to-5 grind.
Notice the stark contrast here between how most people earn and how the wealthy earn. Most of us operate on linear wealth, where your income is tied directly to your hours. Take a gardener making $40 an hour, for example. If they work a maximum of 180 hours a month, their income is strictly capped. They're essentially a wage slave to their own clock. Exponential wealth, on the other hand, completely disconnects your inputs from your outputs. The wealthy focus on scalability so they aren't just relying on their own sweat and personal exertion.
So the absolutely crucial point here is how we actually define wealth. True wealth isn't a flashy car or a massive current income. Those things just show people you spent money. As Naval points out, wealth consists of businesses and assets that earn while you are literally fast asleep. Wealth is hidden. It's those compounding assets that finally buy your freedom from that soul-crushing 7 a.m. commute.
Which brings us to Section 2, the math. Let's look at how invisible forces are actively eating your salary alive.
And this brilliantly illustrates what's going on behind the scenes. This chart from Morgan Housel shows how inflation just devastates your purchasing power over time. If you were born in the 1960s, inflation during your young adult years sent prices up more than threefold. It's like an invisible force, secretly robbing salaried workers. Sure, your paycheck might stay the same, or maybe it grows slightly, but its real-world power shrinks every single year. Combine that shrinking power with high income taxes on salaried workers, and man, you are fighting a losing battle.
And then there's this terrifying number, 0. In almost any salary job, even the highly paid ones, like being a doctor or a lawyer, your inputs are closely tied to your outputs. The absolute second you go to sleep, take a vacation, or attempt to retire, your earnings drop to 0. You just cannot earn non-linearly.
So how do we get out of this? Section 3, the shift to true wealth. We need to pivot to exponential thinking. Making money isn't about luck. It's about becoming the kind of person who uses leverage.
The Platform Financial Mentor breaks this down beautifully into the 6 types of leverage. And listen, nobody builds true wealth without leverage. You can use financial leverage, which is basically other people's money. Time leverage, which is employing other people. Then there are systems and technology, marketing, your network, and of course, your knowledge. The wealthy utilize these resources to extend their reach way beyond their own personal 24-hour daily limit.
But the most powerful forms today don't even require you to manage people or borrow millions of dollars. As Naval Ravikant explains, the new generation's fortunes are being made through code or media. Think about podcasts, software applications, or YouTube videos. This is product leverage. And the absolute beauty here is that there is 0 marginal cost to adding another user. You build a thing once, and it scales infinitely.
Ultimately, you must own equity to gain your financial freedom. If you're just working for someone else, they are taking the risk, they're holding the intellectual property, and they're keeping the brand. They're only going to pay you the bare minimum to keep doing the job. Whether it's holding real estate as a long-term inflation hedge or building a tech product, true wealth is only created when you own a piece of the upside.
Let's move to Section 4, 3 steps to start today. We're going to bring these lofty concepts down to earth with a concrete blueprint you can start right now, this week.
Step 1. Rent your time to learn. It is perfectly okay to work a 9-to-5 if you treat it as an apprenticeship to build specific knowledge. Step 2. Take on the risk of a side hustle. As successful entrepreneurs on Reddit love to point out, you have to sacrifice some weekend comfort, skip a few trips or festivals, and direct your passion into a scalable venture. And step 3. Freeze your lifestyle upgrades. When you get a raise, please do not go buy a better car. You have to fight lifestyle creep aggressively.
All of this leads to a golden rule from Morgan Housel. Wealth is simply the accumulated leftovers after you spend what you take in. You can't always control investment returns, and you definitely can't control the broader economy, but your personal savings and frugality, those are 100% in your control. Saving money is simply the gap between your ego and your income. And remember this vital distinction. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two completely different skills. Getting wealthy requires taking risks, using leverage, and being wildly optimistic. But staying wealthy, that requires humility, it requires frugality, and honestly, a healthy dose of paranoia that what you've made could be taken away. Only a high savings rate will truly keep you rich and secure your ultimate freedom.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. What will you build this week to finally disconnect your time from your money? Think about that carefully, because your future freedom really depends on it. If this explainer shifted your perspective today, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the mechanics of building true wealth. Thanks for joining me here at Wealth Lab, and I'll catch you in the next one.